Welcome to Coffee with Congress, a new podcast by the Veterans Education Project powered by Angus, where we truly get to know members of Congress and key government officials. Every episode, we ask questions that have absolutely nothing to do with politics, policy, or legislation.
Yeah, nothing to do with their actual jobs. So instead, we focus on getting to know the real person behind the office. Today, we met with Senator Boozman out of Arkansas. He's a Republican and the senior senator from Arkansas. We met with him in his D.C. office, and he told us about how he may be completely responsible for Joe Gibbs' career, and maybe Coach Gibbs owes him a thank you.
Bench in high school football quite a bit, and interestingly enough, our senior year we went to the state championship and won. So I feel very proud to be part of that team. I did a lot of work for that team on the bench. I kept it really warm, and I was I helped guys get water, stay hydrated. It was
a really emotional, supportive guy.
Good to stay out.
He's a locker room guy.
I was horrible. I was absolutely horrible.
What position?
I played left tackle and end as well, and I just was not fast enough or big enough. I don't let my size now give you an accurate glimpse of what I was like in high school. I was a skinny beanpole. Once I got into the military and joined Special Forces, I got a little bigger and stronger, but for football, not so much.
You were a Special Forces guy. You were a pretty good athlete.
I appreciate that.
What position did you play?
I wound up as an offensive tackle at the University of Arkansas.
Right.
And so I had my main claims to fame at the University of Arkansas, that my offensive line coach was Joe Gibbs.
Wow.
He was there for 2 years. He came from USC to Arkansas.
So are you a Redskins fan?
Well, I'm really a Cowboy fan.
Oh.
I have sympathy for the Redskins when they're not playing the Cowboys because of Gibbs. Myself and 2 or 3 others, while I was at the university, frustrated Coach Gibbs so much that he left college football and went to the pros. So I tell him, I say, Coach, you need to give me some of your
for sure,
retirement.
You deserve credit.
You deserve some credit. That's funny.
He's a great person, great man.
Yeah.
And, has done tremendous in NASCAR now. And he's the kind of guy, he'll grab me when he sees me and say, John, just do the right thing. Sums it up.
That's right. Are you still a Razorback diehard now? Is that you can't let it go?
Very much so.
So you guys aren't doing so.
We're tired of rebuilding.
Yeah. What are 3 things that Razorbacks need to do to turn around, be back in the SEC challenge?
Yeah, talk to us.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they've finally settled on a quarterback who's got great potential. And as always, you have to have some defense. So these are just basic truths, that we all know.
Right.
They're easy to say. It's hard to execute sometimes. Playing in the Southeast Conference is very, very difficult. We're in the SEC West, and we play teams like LSU and Alabama and Auburn every year.
Tough.
It's a little difficult.
Yeah, you can wind up, being picked towards the end of the West Conference and still be in the top 25.
Right, it's wild.
It's difficult.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're on a first name basis with Coach Gibbs. So what?
I think he claims me.
What would be a nickname that only your closest friends can call you that some people might not be aware of?
That's a interesting question. My nickname in college, to some extent, among my teammates was Norm, and I don't know why.
Norm. Oh, okay. For the rest of this podcast, and when we see you,
cheers or whatever,
do you like it?
It's fine.
All right.
Norm it is.
Well, Norm, it's a pleasure to be.
You prefer John? Oh man, Senator Norm has a nice ring to it, though.
My cohort in the Senate is Tom Cotton, and I'm very active on the Ag Committee, number 2 there. And so I keep telling him I want his name, John Cotton.
Yeah.
Say the name says
that's
it.
That's a great Ag Committee number name.
John Boozman.
Right.
It's B-O-O-Z, so it's John Boozman for most people. I was going into Ireland a couple years ago, and the Irish gentleman that was checking my passport and stuff looked at it and he said, well, if you're anything like your name, you're going to have a great time.
That's great.
Nope.
How was that?
Ireland's a beautiful country, and they love Americans, and they're just kindred spirits.
What's the worst part about visiting Ireland?
I don't know that there is a worst.
come on!
That was not as good as advertised.
Well, the language, you understand the language. Yeah. The transportation's good, and of course, you're generally, when you're traveling like I do, you're not long enough to really. You experience the good things and are avoiding the bad things.
Right.
I would say the weather, but I know that you grew up in England, so maybe you love the weather there.
6 years, my dad was stationed in London in World War II. He was a waist gunner on B-17s.
Wow.
Stayed in the service, and so I was there till probably third or fourth grade.
When you came back, how was the transition? Were you spelling color incorrectly and all that?
It was difficult because my dad did not like the base school, so he put my brother and I in a British boys' school.
Wow.
And so,
did you learn to play cricket?
My brother was actually captain
of the
cricket team.
Wow. Did you learn how to play Quidditch?
They had another game called Rounders. It's kind of like baseball. So, I did all those things.
That's
I came back and I was talking about my mummy and my woolly.
Oh,
my God.
Riding my uncle's lorry. Truck.
Yes, the truck, right. So I lived in England for a little bit of time as well, and when I came back, everyone thought I spoke with an accent as well, so I completely understand it.
Moving back to Arkansas, where we've always been from since 1871 or 3, whatever, in that area. It doesn't take long to get back.
Switch back.
So
I got an Arkansas specific question here. You guys got a little more deadly animals living in your state than we do here. I don't know what Arkansas is up to. You guys are allowing these deadly creatures to exist with you guys. But hey, you got a timber rattler, you got a diamondback rattler, and you got a coral snake. All 3 of them live in your state. Which one is the one you really got to watch out for? What's the one you like?
Oh, well, the other one, the other 2 that aren't on your list are copperheads.
Oh man, you got them too?
And so they're very prevalent. So you have to watch those.
Right.
And then water moccasins.
Oh my God,
wow.
We got them all.
We produce 51% of the rice in the country. And we're blessed with lots of water, so there are lots of water moccasins. It's interesting, every year we have an ag tour. We go all around the state. And we were out on the farm, a rice farm. There's water all over the place. And I was teasing. I had some young staff that had not really been in the state, didn't know a lot about agriculture with me. And so I said, I bet you have a lot of snakes out here. He said, yeah, there's lots of water moccasins, but they're not, they generally don't bother people.
Right.
But he said, this time of year they're mating. And
generally.
And so
the 10% chance that they are aggressive.
Jumped back about 3 feet.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
So which one of those would you not want to encounter? What? You have alligators too?
Southern Arkansas.
Oh my! Arkansas is a death trap. What is going on?
So you need 6.
Black bears.
7. Okay, so now you got to choose. So black bear, alligator, copperhead, water moccasin,
timber rattlesnake, diamondback rattlesnake, coral snake.
Which one do you not want to encounter?
Well, I think the one that you're probably most likely to encounter is the copperhead.
The copperhead.
And those, you're not going to get in trouble unless you step on them.
What is one then that you think that if you did encounter, you could handle it? Which one you like? Yeah, this is the guy that if he better not cross me.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What would you?
That's a good question. Again, what you want to be is with somebody that can't run as fast as you.
That is the best defense.
That is always the best.
I think that's why Daniel always keeps me around.
Right. I'm out running him every day of the week.
That's right. I like that. All right. So you guys are famous for your hog hunts. What's the worst snack you could bring on a hog hunt?
Ooh.
It's when someone opens up their pouch like, oh, come on, man. What did you bring that for?
I don't know. That is a good question. I don't know about the worst. I'll tell you something that I'm into right now.
Tell me.
Talk to me.
Moon pies.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here. My favorite.
They've made a resurgence.
They have. So I am a big fan of the moon pie.
And you can get them at Cracker Barrel and places like that. Now they're, on Walmart and this.
Have you gotten the variety pack?
I've gotten every pack that there is. And,
So
they normally make the double.
Yes,
the double moon pie.
it's amazing.
Meal in itself.
I'm really interested in about a time in your career or your life where you failed as a leader or as a student or as an athlete, and why that experience was so important.
I'll give you a good example. I can remember, you do have lots of experiences in athletics that are important, the importance of teamwork. But I can remember being at the Liberty Bowl, and again, Gibbs was the offensive coach. We're down there. I was running second team offensive tackle. The guy in front of me was a great player. Back then, you didn't travel a lot of players, to the bowl games and things. So we're there, and I'm running with the offensive line, and they needed some help with the defense, to kind of match up with them. So they told me to go down and run with the defense and give them a look, plays. I really didn't want to do that. I felt like I need to be down there, with the rest of the guys. It was me and two or three others. So I went down there, and there's not a whole lot of difference in first and second team ones. So I went down and just teed off on some people. The good thing about playing football is that if you're angry about something, you can smack somebody.
Yeah.
So I went down there, was knocking people around. And then, I caught myself and thought, this is the place I need to be. This is the place where I can most help my team. And my attitude changed completely. And it is something that, I've thought about that a lot through the years, in the sense that you do get in situations that maybe, you feel like you shouldn't be in, and this and that, and then you stop and realize, hey, this is, for us to win, this is what it takes. It's everybody working together. So we really try and emphasize that to our staff, that we are part of the team, and what we're trying to do in the congressional office is really use the power of the office for good. That's what it's all about.
I like that. I know for me, I've learned quite a bit about being part of the team in special operations, and there's a lot of life lessons that you learn in the military that are very similar to things you learn in sports. Something else that the military has really instilled in me is the idea of pride of service, whether that be public service or volunteer service. What is something that has instilled in you this desire to serve? You clearly have followed the man in the arena, and you are continually putting yourself out there for public service. What's a motivation? Like, why have you continued to press?
It's interesting. You talk about your service career, and again, I was not in the service, but I was part of the military family. Dad retired after, I think, 23 years, something like that. But when you're in that situation, you do learn as a family that you're part of something that's bigger than you are. And so I think that the same is true, again, in athletics and other things that you get into, being on a team. You learn, that you're bigger. You're a bigger part in the program. And so I just felt like I could be helpful, and just kind of really fell into things. I'm not a real political person. Before I got elected, I really hadn't been to Washington before. And so all this was new. I won a special election, just kind of jumped in and did it.
All right. The girding lights. Have you seen any of these ghostly apparitions in Arkansas? And don't you have like a monster, the Boggy Creek Monster? There seems to be a lot of supernatural happenings over in Arkansas. Yeah.
I've been blessed. I haven't.
You haven't come across any yet. Right.
I've been out and about Arkansas as much as anybody, but so far, no monsters.
All right. Norm, how old are you now?
I am 68.
Okay, so at 34, think about where you were in life. What advice would you, with all the experience you have, give to your 34-year-old self today, and why?
No, it's good. I'm an optometrist by training, an eye doctor. I would say that we were working very hard. I practiced with my brother, who's an ophthalmologist and eye surgeon, and we were really working very hard with our business. I would say that certainly taking care of business, taking care of people, which is what business is all about, and then also time gets by so quickly. Making sure that you're taking care of your family. It's a challenge for all of us, regardless of what we do. And so, certainly family, church, business, again, taking care of people. We're in situations, it doesn't matter what you do. I used to think that, you had to be rich or famous or whatever to be helpful. And then I thought of the people that had been helpful to me through the years. They weren't rich and famous. It was friends, it was family, it was coaches. I tell people I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, that it was a teacher or this or that made a great difference in their life.
Right.
I'm still waiting for somebody to come up and say it was the senator.
The Senate. It's the U.S. Senate. Okay, so I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you do, sir. But America's largest ostrich farm is in Arkansas. And this ostrich farm historically would host ostrich races where people would ride the ostriches. And so what's as an Arkansas brother, I think you might be an expert on maybe unconventional animals to saddle up. So what are some other animals we're overlooking for riding potential?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I guess you could, certainly livestock, cows, they haven't watched is the mutton busting. If you go to the rodeos.
Tell me about the mutton busting.
What is that?
Well, what they do is, bull riding and things like that. They'll put little kids, grade school kids, young grade school kids on
Ponies?
On sheep. That's amazing.
Take off.
On sheep. That's hilarious. I love that. Dawn, I know you ran a ranch and you're a cattle guy. How quick are you at lassoing the calf and tying them up real quick? Man, I know it's one of your. That's something like a requirement of being a cowboy.
No, if it was, then I certainly wouldn't. I'll tell you when I was decided to run for Congress, one of the congressmen came down and was campaigning for me, and we would take bulls to Oklahoma State, and what you do there is you take your young animals and then they grow them out and feed them, and then they measure the rate of gain. So you decide, what you want to use as the herd size in the future. And Dick Armey was the guy that was down there, the old majority leader in the House. And he asked me about this, and I was trying to explain it to him. And he said, John, he said, I don't understand this at all. But if you're an expert on bull, you're going to do great.
That's really good. That's really good. All right, I'll close this out with one more question, and then we're going to get into the lightning rounds. All right, so I see you've surrounded yourself with some great books. I was taking a look earlier before you came in. What is the book that you've given to other people the most as a gift, and why?
That's a good question. I do have a lot of books. A lot of books are given to me. And, I'm a guy that, is a Christian, so I guess the Bible would be right at the top as far as book.
That you've given to others?
Given to others, and, certainly. But I don't know that I have a book that really changed my life. I like to read a lot of different things. I like to read fiction, as an escape. I'm a busy guy and have to read a lot.
Do you have a favorite book?
Some of it is pretty dry. My favorite book goes back. My brother and I, when we were I was in junior high. He was in high school, and we moved for a summer. Spent a summer in a different area, and we didn't have anything to do. And so we had a contest as to who could read the most books, which was kind of bizarre. But the book that I like is Ivanhoe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Classic.
I like it.
It's a good one. You said you were there when it was published.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
The nice thing about those books is that, when you read the classics and all those kind of things, and they all have a moral.
Yeah.
So they have a story. There's good and bad. And you don't have any trouble figuring out which one is which. But also, you read that stuff and the same struggles that were going on then, as far as human beings interacting, same thing that we got going on now. So
Yeah.
those are fun things.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It would be strange if Ivanhoe was struggling with where to charge his cell phone.
I know.
That would.
All right, we're gonna get in.
Where the hay is horse.
Right, yeah.
We're gonna get into the lightning round. So these answer as fast as you can. Try not to think about. Yeah. Okay.
We'll edit it so it seems like it is.
Yeah, we'll edit out the dead space. What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were a kid?
I wanted to be a dentist.
A dentist. Okay. What animal native to Arkansas do you identify with most as a person?
Black bear.
The black bear.
Favorite Johnny Cash song?
Okay.
Oh, come on. It's an Arkansas native.
He is. John Cash is actually going to come up here as a statue.
Yeah.
One of the ones that we got.
I love it.
I guess Folsom Prison.
All right.
Okay. Wrestling match. Steve's going to name the following 2 comic book characters.
We're going to go with, I'm trying to think of 2 sidekicks for some reason, but it's not working. All right, so we're just going to go with the classic. We're going to go with Superman or the Hulk.
Oh.
The Hulk.
I think
Okay.
that's right. I think
all
that's
right.
right.
Now.
That's
Okay. Well, you've passed the lightning round.
So now you have the next
Do I
30
get anything for that?
Yes,
Yes,
the
you
next,
do.
The next
Yes.
30 seconds to a minute is all yours. Talk about whatever you want. We won't interrupt you. Whatever's on your mind or heart you're excited and passionate about, you share with us.
Well, we do appreciate our military and all that they represent. And as a military family member, I understand it's not just those that have served, but again, the families are involved. It is a family affair. And so we appreciate that, and certainly are committed to helping anyone we can. I think always when we remember, our service members, when we talk about various benefits and things, these are earned benefits. These are not givens. And so we need to make sure that the promises that we've made are kept. And we really are working very, very hard to do that in a very bipartisan way. The nice thing about military issues is that it's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's about taking care of those. The other thing that I've enjoyed so much, there's a Library of Congress issue where they actually take people that have been in combat and this and that, tell their story so that they can record this forever. Listening to a lot of World War II veterans and Korea War veterans and really everybody, but we're losing those 2 right now in a sense just because of the age. But it all comes down, these were ordinary people that did extraordinary things. They did what their country asked them to do. And that's a very, very special thing. The good news is it's carrying on. I was on an aircraft carrier not too long ago, a couple of years ago. And I think the average age of the crew is 19 and a half. And, the captain said that this was as good a bunch as ever. So we're blessed. We've got the legacy that is continuing.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Coffee with Congress, where we got to hang out with Senator Boozman. We learned a lot about him, including his love for moon pies. Subscribe to our podcast anywhere you get your podcast. We are everywhere. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Remember, the Veterans Education Project is always preaching possibilities.